This is just a few questions from Chicago. And I have Heidi Henry on the line and Murri Briel. They are the Heartland Mamas, or Heartland Mamas from the Heartland. Long way from me, way out in the sticks. You see, we're not supposed to say, I forgot to say, I got to throw some love for my boy, Ben Jaworski, who this is why I know, haven't met you, but I think I've known you for months because I've heard you on this show. So, the Heartland Mamas, which is cool. Benny J's knows it. He brings people together. You know that. He brings people together. Benny J's the man.
He does.
He's the man.
He does.
Okay, I got to quit blabbering and let's talk about the Heartland Mamas. Tell people what the show is all about and why should we listen to the Heartland Mamas?
Go ahead, Murri. Take it away.
Oh, all right. Well, the Heartland Mamas is a brainchild of two former candidates, and political activists and advocates. So Heidi and I met on the trail a few years ago when we ran. We became really good friends. After the elections, we were like, we still need to keep doing something. We were irritated that people think that because you're in Illinois, that everyone in the Heartland is uneducated, that they're rural, that they're coal miners, that they're, you know what? We're not all Republicans. We're not all Trumpers. So it's kind of the catalyst for it, and we realized that we need a woman to kind of right the ship. So we're both mamas, so we're like, yeah, mamas. And that's sort of how the genesis of Heartland Mamas. And we talk about issues of the day. We talk about legislation, Supreme Court decisions. We do deep dives. So.
But even in Chicago, whether you're in Chicago or any other major city in America, once you go outside the major areas, metropolitan area, it starts, you hear the banjos. I'm sorry to say it. You hear the banjos and places start looking like Hooterville. If you're from a certain age, you know who Hooterville is.
Yeah.
But all jokes aside, even these rural counties and collar counties of major cities, a lot of those counties are like 30-40% Democrat voters, right?
Well, we have huge labor organizations out here in LaSalle County where I'm at. So labor's big out here, and we like to look after. My husband was an IBEW equipment operator for 30 years. So we value our labor unions, and that's why they're so strong out here and why the Democratic voice is so strong. It's not strong everywhere out here, but we're working on improving that. That's why we wanted to keep the conversation going after we were done running. We wanted people to know that we're so much more than what meets the eye, that there's more out here in rural America. And we shouldn't be written off by Springfield and Chicago as being, podunk city. So.
No, I understand why they say that, but that's even, I think I forgot LaSalle or Boone or one of them counties way out there, because I'm sort of familiar with, I forgot what Monmouth, Illinois county. I just read it and I forgot it. It's Warren. I think the city of Monmouth is in Warren. Galesburg.
Right.
Well, Monmouth College is Monmouth, Illinois. Monmouth College is Warren County. Knox County is Knox the city. What's the school? Knox College, right?
Knox College.
I've been out there. People are shocked I've been out there to that part of the state, but I have. But when you go out to those parts of the state, whether you're further south, further north, people are people. They really are.
People are people.
They really are.
I moved out to where I live from Glen Ellen, so it was a lot different. It was kind of a culture shock to come out here because they're still the same. I know the one thing I kept thinking of when I moved out here is, why don't people fight harder for what, where their tax dollars are going? Why do they roll over and allow the Trump-minded people to starve their school systems to death? But that's just the mentality. Is, I don't know, I call it whoop-ass country attitude.
Now, see, on the flip side of that, I grew up out where Heidi currently lives. I grew up farther west of her, about 20 minutes, but still I grew up there, and that's where I was raised. And I think a part of it is really we were very democratic. The restructuring took that area out somewhat and gerrymandered it, but we really, the party itself sort of deteriorated, particularly in rural areas. It didn't become important. And if you don't have a strong party that is helping people understand why it's important, and you are rural and removed if everything seems like it's going okay, then I'm all right. It's not that bad. So there's a very big difference, I think, growing up in Glen Ellen, you had lots of local newspapers. You had people who were probably traveling to work, going to offices, things like that. Where I grew up in Ottawa, there were like 2 banks that people went to. And that's like the biggest business was the bank or the hospital. And I think the issues were just so much less noticeable because of being isolated.
I think you're right with that. It is that you only know what you know, and sometimes it's not too much, and that sums up a lot of the attitude. A lot of times people are just so busy, they don't have time to pay attention to the fact that their school system's being sucked dry by bad decisions, So that's the things that I noticed moving out here from the suburbs, and from a fairly affluent suburb too. So I had a very, very skewed way of looking at things, So,
right.
But whether you're in DuPage County, Will County, LaSalle, Warren, Knox, whatever county, Boone, it goes on and on in these states. Whether you're in a red county or a blue county, people are going to have to vote people are going to vote in November. Now here in Illinois, we make it easy to vote in Illinois. That's why
we do.
That's why I think we have 2 Democratic senators, a Democratic governor, and a Democratic House and Senate, because we make it easy here. I vote by mail for many years here in Cook County. And so, do you think that other counties across the country, I'm throwing you a softball, should really push this vote by mail? I love it.
Absolutely.
Murri, Heidi, whatever. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Who's speaking now?
This is Heidi. We did a show on vote by mail and why that's so important right now, especially in this unique time with the COVID pandemic. We can't take a chance of not being able to vote, and this is a unique opportunity for us as a country to put aside gerrymandering and voter suppression and keeping people from voting. By making sure everybody gets a ballot and everybody can vote by mail. We don't realize until you leave this state how lucky we are to have any which way you can vote offered to you. Whatever you need to do, we will make sure you're able to vote.
Now, Heidi, you're 100% right. But don't forget, it's who your county clerk is and what party controls your county.
Mm-hmm.
That makes a big difference. We don't really think too much about our local races or our county board or our county offices, but we am right next to Kendall County. So are you, Heidi. That's kind of in between us. And they have absolutely horrible voter suppression. They send out illegal notices. They change polling place. It's horrible. Getting to vote in Kendall County is literally getting to vote. So we have to not only make sure that we have it accessible, but that every county is allowing people to vote the way they need to vote. So that's going to be another key.
And I do think that some of that, if we go to vote by mail, because it becomes a federal issue instead of a local issue, that some of that, not all of it, but some of it could be cleaned up. You can't do voter suppression when you have a federal issue. You can, but, it is a federal crime then. So, but I don't know.
No, but ladies, I was going to talk about, we're going to end this podcast talking about President Trump, because people want, a lot of people, we got to get rid of Trump. National shows, other podcasts, other than the Heartland Mamas podcast, they talk about Trump, but they don't talk about the dirty people register to vote. Now, Illinois, we're going to get it done in Illinois, but I'm talking about Wisconsin, Iowa, Michigan, Ohio. Yeah. How do you get these folks to, come out and say, hey, don't play games this time, register early, vote by mail, vote early voting. Don't wait till Tuesday like they did in Wisconsin the other day.